Yo! Lord have mercy. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, I tell you this for free, yeah? Is it the season of Big Brother? It will forever be famous. It's going to be famous for a lot of things because, of course, this season came with very unique individuals, very interesting and colorful characters. A lot of things have happened which we will always remember, and they will always serve as reference points for coming seasons of Big Brother shows. However, if there's one thing that this season will majorly be remembered for, it will definitely be remembered as that season where grown adults, housemates, had to resort to using their hands and plastic bottle pieces to eat, to drink gari, just because they were not bold enough to confront one of their own fellow housemates for hiding their cutleries. Hey! Ladies and gentlemen, what a wow. Now, I understand the many theories that we have out there. I mean, they're all valid, right? There's a theory of, the housemates are being careful not to create a gang-up situation so as for the viewers not to misinterpret their actions as a bullying situation of them bullying Imisi'S. I totally understand that. I totally understand the other theory where people believe that, okay, the housemates are smart now. They've been able to clock Imisi'S game and they've recognized that she's trying to recreate the Bbnaija's situation from the All-Star season. And so they are trying as much as possible not to give her that leverage, not to give her that highlight. Hence the reason why they keep on ignoring all the things that she's doing and just allowing her to have her way. I totally understand. And that is very valid. However, ladies and gentlemen, I personally believe that there are ways that this whole thing can be handled. And all thanks to Faith for handling the situation the way I said I would have personally handled it. See, watching Faith yesterday and even having to go back to replay the entire clip of 2 nights ago, I realized that this guy has his brains in full active mode. This guy is really thinking. And I'm going to give you guys all the details because yesterday we all saw Faith remove Imisi'S backpack from one of the kitchen cabinets and removed 3 spoons, 2 spoons and a fork, and you know, a lot of people were excited that, Faith finally found the spoons, but that wasn't the case. That was an entirely different situation, which I will be explaining on this video because, ladies and gentlemen, there is a lot that you probably must have missed out on, all right? So don't worry, I'm going to bring you up to speed. So please make sure you watch this video to the end, all right? Because aside that, Imisi'S is also planning more attacks. She's planning to steal Faith's slippers. She's also planning to steal Thelma's things alongside Isabella. Yeah, Isabella is a sidekick that is going with the flow of whatever plans that she has. So guys, I cannot wait to spill all of this tea on this video. Just make sure you watch to the end. Do not skip out on any part so you do not miss out on anything. Now, quick reminder, today by 3 p.m. WAT, we're going to be converging here for our YouTube live conversation. I look forward to hosting all of you. I look forward to interacting with every single one of you because there's a lot to unpack and I cannot wait to hear your perspectives as usual. All right. So see you all by 3 p.m. WAT. All right. And you're all welcome to my channel. My name is Glory Elijah. This is Frankly Speaking with Glory Elijah, and I am the girl with the tea. Without further ado, let's dive right into the rest of the video. Okay, now let's begin from some episodes that happened yesterday with regards to this cutlery situation. Ladies and gentlemen, before I even get into it, I'm going to tell you all this. If you are not following me on Twitter, that's on the X app, you're totally missing out on a lot of things, all right? I normally do, some bits and pieces of analysis of situations around the house on Twitter. So you totally need to follow me on there, all right? Because I put out a long piece of something that happened in the house. So just go ahead and follow me on the X app, all right? Now, back to what we were saying. So yesterday, Yesterday was a struggle for these housemates. They were making breakfast, they were making lunch. There was no cutleries for them to use to eat. And it just did not make sense. There were table knives, there was the kitchen cooking knife, and then there was just one fork. And that fork, it happened that someone, I think it was Sultana, I don't know who, but somebody had used it to eat and they had left it in their room. And that was the only reason why they had that fork. If that fork was in the kitchen, Imisi would have also packed it up with the rest of the other cutleries. So yesterday morning, I watched some of these housemates using table knife to stir tea. Miss Abella, I'm sorry, but that one, she's acting like a mumu because you are joining Imisi to pull off a prank on the house and you are also suffering. You are also part of the suffering. It would have been a different case if she wasn't part of the suffering, but she's part of the suffering. So she was using a fork to stir, what was she stirring? There was something that she was stirring. Anyways, the inconvenience was real for all of these housemates. And Imisi was still standing on her grounds that she was not going to release the cutleries. So I did a video about Kola going to confront her again, she and Isabella. If you missed out on that video, please go ahead and check it out. Now, fast forward to later on in the afternoon, towards evening, Coin was about to eat. And so he needed cutleries. So by virtue of the fact that he and Isabella, they had been screwing each other in the house, he thought he had an advantage. So he had gone to Isabella to try to cajole her to talk to Imisi to release the cutleries. And Isabella kept on, avoiding the conversation. He was telling, he kept on telling her, go and tell her, go and beg her, go and tell her, He was obviously getting upset. But what was really frustrating was that they were having this conversation upstairs in the dressing area. Imisi was in front of one of the mirrors doing her hair or whatever she was doing. And behind her, close to the staircase, they were having that conversation. So Imisi could hear what they were saying. So my thing was, why can't Coin go and confront Imisi for the cutleries? Or maybe do something else to get back at her? Anyways, they had that conversation and Isabella was trying to, calm Coin, was telling him that, oh, don't worry, she's going to release it very soon. She's going to release it. Coin left. Isabella went to Imisi and started begging her that, okay, babe, now, I think you should release the spoons now. And Imisi got really upset that, oh, see, this is why I didn't want to carry you along on this plan. Oh, I need somebody that is bold enough. You should not. She was just upset. And she said Isabella should not tamper with her plans, that she would do what she wants to do when she wants to do it. And so Isabella said, okay, no problem. That I am solidly behind you, no problem. And you see, it was so funny because it was in that moment, it became very glaring that Isabella is just desperate for an alliance in that house. And so even though she knows that what Imisi is doing has become really extreme, just for the fear of losing this one friend or alliance that she has in the house, she would rather keep her mouth shut and go with the flow. And that was exactly what she did. Now, whilst they were having that conversation upstairs in the dressing area, the kitchen was buzzing with conversations from Bright, from Mide. There was Joanna at some point. Joanna was getting upset. And then there was Rude Boy. That one was angry. It was just making empty threats. And then he packed all the table knives and all the knives, in fact, in the kitchen. He packed it up and he said he was going to go and hide it as well. Now, I don't know who told him not to. I did not hear anybody tell him not to. But he now turned back and said, that this person said I should not do it, so I'm not going to do it. As I look at this, I don't even have balls. So he went to go and drop the knives again. And the housemates were just talking amongst themselves, the ones in the kitchen, that, oh, what kind of rubbish is this? How can one person hold everybody to ransom? What are they going to do? They were just complaining. They were complaining without taking any action. They were complaining without doing jack. It got so bad to the point that Rude Boy was very hungry. He had not eaten the whole day and he wanted to drink Gary. So what did he do? He got a bottled water container and then he used the knife to cut it, and then he used that rounded area as a spoon to drink Gary. And as he was drinking the Gary, he was complaining that there was no spoon in the house. And I'm looking at this guy like this and I'm thinking, so in your mind now, you've created highlights for yourself. You think most of these viewers are actually really that smart enough to look at you and feel sorry for you that you're using this thing to drink garri. Oh my goodness. Anyways, that one happened. And the housemates were still having side conversation about what Imisi'S had done, right? And then later on, people were going to go and meet Kola, that, oh, Kola should go and talk to Imisi. And Kola was getting upset, like, why is everybody telling him to go and talk to Imisi? That he's tired of the whole situation. Now, he went to talk to Imisi eventually. And Imisi claimed that she had returned the spoons, but maybe snakes had come to carry the spoon. What they call snakes in the house are people that pull up pranks in the house. So Imisi was saying that she had returned the spoons, but she doesn't know who took it. But ladies and gentlemen, that was a blatant lie. Because when Isabella was begging her upstairs, they were speaking in very, very hushed tones. She had said that she was not going to release those spoons until she was ready to release those spoons. So when she was now telling Kola that she actually released the spoons, or she doesn't know who carried the spoons, or it was kind of weird to me. And now everybody was then skeptical that, okay, if she said she released the spoons, who took it? So there was a bit of commotion, there was a bit of confusion. Fast forward to a bit later, you know, everybody was rehearsing for their wager presentation, right? So people were not particularly paying attention to the kitchen area. And it was in that moment that we saw Faith walk into the kitchen. He opened one of the cabinets and then he stretched his hands inside and pulled out Imisi'S backpack. That was really shocking. He pulled out Imisi'S backpack, ransacked the bag, and then he found 3 cutleries. He found 2 spoons and a fork. He took them to the sink, washed them. Okay, before taking it to the sink, he zipped up the bag, put it back inside, you know, inside at the far end of that cabinet, shut it up, went to the sink, washed the cutleries, and put it inside the cutlery holder, right, inside the plate rack. And then he was still racking his brains that, I wonder where the rest of the cutleries are. Guys, in that moment, the internet went wild with joy. A lot of people were happy. A lot of people were excited. I was also excited because I'm going to be frank with all of you. At that point in time, I thought Faith had just only discovered where Imisi had kept the bag, you know. But what I remembered from that whole conversation the previous night was that she had actually put it in one of her clothes boxes, the one that has a code. So she had put it in the box and then she had locked it up with the code. So nobody can even open it, even if they wanted to. Yeah. So I was thinking about the whole thing that, this whole thing does not make sense. There's something fishy going on here. So I decided to go and recheck and replay the events of late last night, because the way things happen in this house, sometimes the housemates, they go to sleep by 3 a.m. in the morning, 2 a.m. in the morning. But then there's always one person or 2 persons that are awake around that 4 a.m. time, just staying awake because they have insomnia or because they cannot sleep or because they want to eat. So I said, okay, let me check again. Maybe, just maybe, I will discover something. And so I did. And that was where I discovered that, you see, that Thursday night, right? After that whole conversation that Faith had with Kola, if you guys had watched my first video yesterday, I had explained that there had been a conversation between Kola and Imisi where Imisi had refused blatantly to return the cutleries, where Kola had gone to hit the gong, Big Brother, you know, ignored him, did not answer him. And then there was a conversation between Faith and Kola where Faith had said that it would be nice if someone also hid Imisi'S box or a bag. You know, since she hid the cutleries inside, it would be nice to also hide the bag. And Kola said no, that he wouldn't want to go low because she went low, you know, that it's not his style. Ladies and gentlemen, that was where I stopped. I thought that was the whole thing. I thought that it was over there. What I did not realize was that much later, between the hours of 3 a.m. and 4 a.m., Faith had gone ahead to take Imisi'S backpack. Because the whole house was silent, everybody was sleeping. Faith had gone to carry a backpack and then he had gone to hide it inside at the far end of one of the cupboards, one of the kitchen cabinets. He had hidden it, and then he had packed a lot of foodstuffs that they were not going to be using anytime soon. These were like the extras of the food supplies that were given to them this week. He had packed those things and covered the bag, and then he had packed packs of drinks. Is it Mirinda? Is it Pepsi? He had packed packs of them, even water, and he had used it to push inside the backpack. So he was the one that hid the backpack. Yeah. So he hid the backpack, probably with the intention to release the spoons the next day, right? But because by morning, because the guy did not sleep early, so by morning the house was already buzzing with activities and people were in the kitchen from time to time, so there was no time for him to release the cutleries as he wanted to do. Not until that point late afternoon yesterday, when the kitchen area had been empty and people were doing their rehearsals, at different areas of the house, and the coast was clear. That was when he now went back to that hiding spot and removed the bag, and then removed the 3 cutleries that he found inside the bag. But he was kind of disappointed though, because he thought he was going to find all the cutleries in that bag. So ladies and gentlemen, if you saw videos flying around social media about that whole Faith holding the bag situation, that was exactly what happened. Guys, frankly speaking, watching Faith in action, oh my goodness, guys, I was so excited, because the one thing that kept on ringing in my head was finally, a housemate that has balls, actual audacity to match up to or even overshadow Imisi'S so-called audacity. Yes, finally, a housemate that does not give a fuck about whatever narrative this girl is trying to cook up. Yes, finally, a housemate that does not care if she's trying to play the victim card, or if she's trying to play a lay-by script, or if she's trying, to make it look like, oh, there is a bullying or a gang-up situation in the house. Finally, a housemate that knows how to play tit for tat. Because ladies and gentlemen, Faith did not bother joining the rest of the house discussing, we are eating with our hand, there is no spoon, there is no cutlery. He did not join them in doing all of that mediocre bullshit. No, instead he took the bull by the horns and hid her precious backpack so that she too will feel the pain of losing something so precious. Yup. Absolutely. At that point in time, it was the era of tit for tat for Faith. And guys, I could not blame him. I couldn't. As a matter of fact, anybody that wants to drag him, that person is insane. That person needs to get themselves checked. It was such a beautiful moment. And so guys, I was looking forward to seeing what was going to happen afterwards, because after he removed those cutleries, the 3 he found in a bag, he put it back inside the cabinet. Apparently, Imisi'S has been carrying those spoons around since the week of bare minimum. That's last week. So yeah, she hid the cutleries for the general house because she believed that she too, would be immune from the whole situation because, oh, she has 3 cutleries in her bag. So the fact that Faith did not only take that bag from her, but also took away the cutleries and put it back in the general house for everybody else to use, guys, that was just so satisfying to watch. Now, fast forward to, I also forgot to add that her delusional fans were crying on social media that, oh, Faith stole Imisi'S bag, Faith should return it. I'm like, look at them, headless chickens. Anyways, moving on. Fast forward to after the wager presentation, Imisi'S had gone to Thelma and I told her that she gave her 1 fish. And Thelma said, I'm sorry, I cannot remember. So she had continued with the conversation she was having with Dede and Joanna. So that had upset Imisi'S. So she had smiled, walked away, and then later on outside by the poolside, she was telling Isabella that she's going to deal with Thelma. She's going to hide Thelma's things. She's going to do things that will make Thelma remember that she gave her a fish or something. Like she was just planning a lot of crazy nonsense. And of course, Isabella was, supporting her. Because remember, Isabella is not cool with Thelma. So whatever Imisi wants to do to really torture Thelma, Isabella is all for it. Now, they were also having a conversation with Denari. So from the conversation, it turns out that apparently Isabella and Denari, they've known each other way from outside. And Denari has even gone to Isabella's house. Like, they know each other. And I'm like, how is it that of all the over 200 million people in this country, it always happens that these Bbnaija housemates, they always know each other? How? But I don't want to go into it anyways. I don't want to go into it because I'm kind of enjoying the season, so I don't want to spoil it for myself. So from their conversation, it turns out that Denari has even met Isabella's son. They've even played games together. Like, it's like they are friends outside. So when they came into the house, according to Isabella, she decided to allow Denari to play his game. And I'm thinking, this is kind of weird because Denari has kind of had some things to say about Isabella too. So how is it that they're actually friends? Because it just did not add up. It just did not make sense. And then Denari was telling Isabella that Coin had mentioned that he was only using her for the game. So all of those nonsense they were doing beneath the sheets at night, for Coin, it's all for the game. It's not that deep. And Isabella was like, and that shit too, it's not like she's in love with the boy. She's just also using the boy to pass time in the house. But then you could tell that she was really affected because she now carried a pillow and she was crying, you know, and then she was sort of appealing to Denari and Imisi that both of them should please stick to her because they are the only friends that she has in the house. They are the only allies that she has in the house, that they should not abandon her, they should not leave her. Like, she was so desperate at that point in time. You could see her desperation. She was crying. And it was just so funny to me because in my head, I'm thinking, girl, you yourself, you're unhinged. You are not stable. The Imisi that you're friends with, she is equally unstable. So what's the guarantee that your friendship with this girl is going to last to the end of the show? But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, aside that, I was also thinking that, okay, does she think that whatever she had going on with Coin was actually real? Like, why would she even think that it was real? Oh my goodness. But anyways, aside that, they also had another lengthy conversation. That's Isabella and Imisi, and it was all filled with, you know, plots of how they were going to do this and that in the house. Imisi was saying that she was not going to sleep early, that she wanted to hide Faith's slippers. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually looking forward to her hiding it. I want to see her hide it. You know, she has hidden it before. So she says she wants to hide it again. So I really want her to hide it. Because one thing I'm very certain of is Faith is not the type of guy to look away. Faith's pettiness is on 1,000. I'm telling you, it's on 1,000. So where Imisi thinks her madness stops, that is where Faith's pettiness and madness begins. So I cannot wait to see. I want her to hide the slippers, and I want Faith to find out that she hid the slippers, because I know that Faith's tat for her teeth, yeah, it's going to be very loud. All I am begging of Big Brother is, since Big Brother has been turning a blind eye to everything that Imisi has been doing, all I'm begging is Big Brother should just mind his business. Shebi, he said the old housemate should do the most. He should allow them to do the most, though. He should allow them to do the most. Let them burn down the house. And listen, in this case, I am also appealing to Big Brother. Everybody's most should be acceptable. Yes, so, because the amount of most that Imisi has done in that house, by now, so when Faith wants to do the most as well, people that should just allow him do the most. We don't want to come and hear, Faith was extreme, but Imisi was not. We don't want to hear. Leave them. Let them do their most. Since everybody wants to be mad this season, we are going to be here watching the madness unfold, and we're going to be entertained. We're not going to pick sides. Let them do their most. Because it seems like these fans, especially these Imisi's devotional fans, they're kind of crazy. Every time Imisi does something, they call it entertainment. They call her the show. They say that Imisi is the content of the season, blah, blah, blah. They say, oh, people that said do the most, so Imisi is doing the most. Fine. All fair and good. We're not mad about it. But the only reason we're really mad about it is that when other housemates also do the most, and their most does not even measure up to the height or level or the depth of the most that Imisi has been doing, they drag those housemates. They call for their disqualification. They call them names. They call for them to get a strike or punishment or whatsoever. For everything that Imisi has been doing this season, Imisi has never ever been scolded by Big Brother. She has never ever received a punishment. Nothing. And she has really been doing the absolute most. So, what I'm saying is, one person's most cannot be deemed as more better than another person's most in this case. Because that is hypocrisy. That is absolute hypocrisy. And it stinks. The hypocrisy this season, it stinks. Just as the housemates are quiet about what Imisi is doing, that is the stinkiest hypocrisy of them all. Because we know that if it was Faith that hid those cutleries, the house would have been burnt down by now. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm here for the violence. I'm here for all the drama. I want to see how this whole thing finally ends, because it seems like this is just the beginning of the madness. So ladies and gentlemen, we're going to stop talking here right now because I would love to hear from all of you. So please go ahead and share your thoughts in the comment section below. What are your thoughts about this whole tit for tat, this whole basbos, this whole Imisi hiding cutlery's business, and the housemates' non-reaction to the whole situation? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll see you guys on my next video. Thanks for watching. Have an amazing day.